one of the things that I mentioned in the video about sex was that I'd obviously repressed my sexuality, and I find this super, super interesting. I've never actually had any issue in any sort of way with homosexuality. Like, I remember the first time I was made aware of using a homophobic slur. I was probably like 4 or something. And somebody actually explained to me what homosexuality is. And I went, so what? Like, what difference does it make who you want to sleep with? I didn't understand the issue. I don't even, like, I'm 100% sure that they told me gay means man on man sex. Like, that was the whole issue. That's how it was explained to me. So I have a weird way of living where, like, I just go out and discover things now with an open mind, and then I will just go wherever I wanna. Whatever interests me, whatever is fun, that's the direction I go. I don't question why or if I should, or like, I don't care if I want to go in this direction. That's what I'm going to do. So, like, it starts with things like, I used to be on diets, so I used to think about what food I eat, and then all of a sudden I would start eating the food I want to eat, which sounds like you eat junk food or easy food or whatever, but it completely changed in a different direction, because you're so in touch with your body. So if I were to eat some hamburger somewhere, I don't eat meat anyway, so if I were to eat junk food, like say I'm gonna eat a pizza, it's not junk food, I'm sorry to anybody that's Italian. I mean, like, not vegetables, like oily, fatty. If I eat that food, then my body feels different. So I'm super, super sensitive to that. So maybe every now and then I'll eat something, but that's maybe not that healthy, but I feel the difference straight away. So I'm, as crazy as this sounds, like, if I told little 5-year-old me that you're gonna eat vegetables for fun, all I ate was sweets, so like it didn't make any sense. And all I hated was broccoli, so still not the biggest fan of broccoli, but I think that's some trauma. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. So, like, it's sort of relevant to explain, I thought I was heterosexual, and then I went out into the world and then distinctly noticed my lack of interest for men as well. And I thought, because I had just came out of this traumatic relationship, for a while I thought that this is a trauma response, like I'm afraid of men, or I'm traumatized by men, or something like that. But like, I didn't really, I just, if I'm not interested, I'm not interested, so I didn't really worry about it too much. But then I soon realized that as soon as there was similar interactions with females, that I responded very differently. So I just went like, oh, I'm just gonna go with that then. So like, I never really, I wasn't like I always knew I was pansexual, so like, it doesn't really make any difference if you're a man or female, if I'm attracted to you personally, or it's I don't go out looking at, oh, this person's hot, this person's hot, this person's hot. That's not how my sexuality works. Like, I need to connect to you one-on-one, or I need to sort of connect first. Like, I couldn't just sleep with a like beautiful shape. That doesn't, it's actually the opposite. Like, so, and personality is more important. So when I sort of went out, I like, technically, if I would have questioned what I was doing, I'd have again said that I am going on a homosexual adventure, or I'm, I don't know, testing this because I was with a man for too long. But I didn't question anything. I just went into whatever situation open-minded. And then it wasn't after like, I knew straight away, really. I knew that, oh my God, this felt different. Like, I was a little bit more excited about that than I ever was about sex with men, to be honest. And then I just sort of thought, maybe this is just, because it's new or it's exciting. That's what everybody told me as well, because I was very vocal about, like, I told whoever, like, I don't care about what people think. Like, I care about telling people what I'm going through in life. Like, there's no shield or no barrier, which a lot of people find weird, but it's so much easier. Anyway, it wasn't like, there was one date that I was on, one woman that I connected with on a very different level very quickly, and it just completely felt natural, normal. No, like, it finally felt like this is what sex is actually supposed to feel like, because when I was having sex with men, this is not this is not supposed to be me judging men. The problem was me. So I didn't realize that I never felt comfortable with men, and all my first interactions were sexual abuse. So I was sort of told that I was heterosexual by my abusers, and then I think that I was trying to correct the wrong, and that didn't feel right, but I need to feel a version of that feels right. As it turns out, like, I never really completely managed to, obviously it was the wrong sex, but like, I always sort of, the line between having a fun sexual interaction and feeling like I'm going to be raped was always very, very thin. So I would always have to, like, remind myself that I'm not being raped. And, like, I thought that this was due to me, my response, and I needed to get over this response because I was sexually abused. Which sort of, it sort of makes sense that I needed to work through it. Like, I probably assumed that I never worked through it. It's so hilarious to me that I never questioned whether I was heterosexual at all. Like, it was just, this is what I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm doing, I want a family, and I never dared to try anything really. I got married way too young, so the initial agreement was that I was supposed to be allowed to test this while we were married, but obviously the rules changed all the time, so that I wasn't allowed to do that. So, like, that's why it's not like it was completely absent from my mind. But the thing was, like, I just sort of went, like, I want to try having sex with a woman, expecting not to like it. I don't know why. Like, I just went, like, oh, it's not what I like, or it's not what I'm supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. And so luckily, when I freed my mind, it was easy for me to just go out and test it. But even though I had already slept with a few women, it took me a little while to, like, really question my sexuality, because then it was like, okay, now it's been a few years and there's still absolutely no interest for men. So I was like, there's no way that I could have repressed my sexuality, because I have watched so many documentaries, I've watched so many, like, I've always felt like there's nothing wrong with homosexuality. There's, like, I always felt like, oh, it'd be nice to be a part of the, like, LGB, like, just be a part of like a niche. No, I don't know how to say it. Like I never felt I could be a part of them, but like I felt like it'd be nice to be a part of the LGBTQ community. Sorry, got a bit of a cough. So like I never went to gay pride events or like, and I don't know if I was, I don't know why, like, because I did support it and like, anyway, so after like a while, I honestly asked myself and went like, is it even possible that you could have repressed your sexuality? Because if you're so open to it, why the hell would you repress it? Like, and also I didn't feel like, even though I know that my parents and my family is homophobic, like, that wouldn't have, like, I don't think that as an adult, that didn't scare me. They never want to talk to me again. Like, I don't talk to them that much anyway, and if they want to be as petty as that, then they can go ahead. So that, as an adult, it didn't seem reasonable for any didn't seem reasonable at all. But then I thought a little bit harder, and I remembered one scene where, like, I know that I was very young because just because of the height. Like, I see the picture, and I remember holding my parent. I don't know who it was, and I think I was holding a hand, and like you could feel when something happened, and they sort of responded to this lesbian couple with kids, and they were like sniggering and teasing and making fun of them, and I responded to this straight away because I was afraid of them not liking me or not loving me. So whatever they're talking about, like, I wanted to know what's going on. And then they sort of said, yeah, they're lesbians. And as soon as I sort of, like, I had no idea what that means. I didn't, like, to me, they just looked like two friends that are taking care of kids as a kid. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with that family at all. Like, I didn't know anything about sex yet, so I didn't know what the heteronormative idea of family is. So, and however 4-year-old or however old I would have been, I must have been really small. As a kid, I listened to this, and all I remember is looking down at the floor and going, I don't know what lesbian is, but you do not want to be a lesbian. And this is such an early memory. There's, like, I was shocked at the picture that I see, but like, it doesn't matter how many, like, I'll always see the same picture. I know where we were standing. Like, it is a real memory that for sure was my first experience with homosexuality, more or less. And I straight away just rejected it. And I made this rule to myself in my head, in my little, like, toddler head, that this is something I'm not going to be. So, unfortunately, I obviously forgot that I made that rule and just started living by this rule. So I'd always be looking at men instead of women and never show any interest for women, and I literally did not even look at them. Like, I don't really look at too many people, but like, you know, if there's a beautiful woman sitting across from me, I wouldn't even admire her beauty, you know what I mean? Like, not in a pervy stereo way, but like, you know, when you're in the metro, you're looking at some, like, you know, it's fine to appreciate beauty or whatever, you know. I'm not really that much. Anyway, what I did is I didn't look at them properly. So, like, I just eliminated them from my world. So that's like half of the population. And I didn't have any female friends. I never even entertained the idea when, like, I was already like entangled in a little bit of a love relationship when I was a teenager. And and older as well, like there's a few things where I just go like, now I realize like I was obviously in love with them, but I just said I love them, which I do, like I love them, I still love them. Like they're like, love never changes. Like once I love someone, I love them forever, no matter what they do to me normally. Just anyway, like I didn't understand that I'm probably crushing on them, or like that this may be some sort of sexual sort of tension, you know. And it wasn't until like I was 32 or something, and I went like, is it possible that you just didn't look at women? And then I sort of went like, okay, if this is something you did, then just stop doing it. So I went out into the world, and then all of a sudden, like everything just changed, because like the way that I'm, you know, it's playful, it's fun, it's nothing like deviant sexual, it's just like enjoying the complete and whole beauty of the world, you know. I didn't allow myself to do that. And the reason why I'm talking about this is like there's obviously a few reasons that I cannot believe that I blinded myself to my own sexuality. Like it seems like the most natural, most basic thing. Like I always thought when people say they repress their sexuality, I meant that in the public they say they're straight, and then at home they jerk off to homosexual porn. Like I didn't quite completely understand the concept, and thank God I was allowed to live through it, because, well, not thank God, like I wish I never took a misadventure into getting married, but like I'm really happy that I could experience it firsthand, because now I can talk about it. Before it was just an idea. It's sort of an important thing, and like, you know, something this basic and this essential and this important, and like, you know, obviously it's fun when you open your eyes again and you see the whole, you know, you see your world from a different view. Like it sort of like opens up your world again. Like you were before, you were only looking at this section, and then all of a sudden you can see the whole beauty. So, and yeah, the most important, like I've often, people sort of go like, or sort of ask me whether I'm sure, and like it's sort of hard to give evidence or proof, but all I can say is that like before, when I was having sex, I was sort of doing the practice of sex, so I was doing what I was supposed to do with like what I saw on porn and like whatever I thought sex is. So it was a practice. So it wasn't really natural. It was like I was performing whatever I'm supposed to perform. It was very different. And like as soon as I had sex with a woman, like it was completely different. Because then it's more like making music together. It's like, it was like every time it's different, every time it feels different, and it feels completely natural for me. So my disinterest for men wasn't really that obvious until I completely saw my interest for females. So, and like it completely changed the way that I actually have sex. So, and for the better, obviously, like, or for me, I don't know, haven't, like, it's just, it's so much more fun and so free, and it feels completely different. There's no, like, it just feels right, and before it never felt right. So hard to prove, but like I can't deny, or it's such an obvious thing to me now. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because yeah, it's an interesting tidbit, and obviously I'm sort of like speaking about a lot of the things that I wrote about in the book. So the book sort of made me need to go down to the most important parts and like trimming back to what is actually relevant to understanding the truth to your life. So I sort of need to dig up a few things and like talk about a few things that other people would surely find uncomfortable, but like for me it's not a thing, because like as soon as you don't have an ego, like it's like, yeah, this happened. There's nobody that feels ashamed or fear or nothing. So it's just, in the hopes that it connects to someone, or similar stories, or you can refer your friend to this, like, you don't understand repressed sexuality. No, I'm just joking, like, that's not what it's for. I'm just trying to give you more information about me and like things that were relevant to understanding, like, the most important things that changed, and like my sexuality definitely was one of them. And it didn't change because of it. Like, I was always always thought I was heterosexual, which I wasn't. So before I was doing it wrong. Now it's more fun. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. One love.